Greetings, it's Maxo Diddly here, and today I am going to be showing you how to do a range check on a string using C++. So this is an extension of a length check. Click the eye up in the corner for a playlist on how to do different type of length checks. You don't need to watch them for this tutorial, but you can if you want to. So let's get right into it. So basically we're going to be checking if the length of a string is between a minimum amount of characters and an upper amount of characters. For example, I want my user input to be greater than 4 characters but less than 9 characters long. That's just one example, so let's get right into it. So, we've got string user input equals Jeffy. This string represents user input. This tutorial does not teach how to get user input, only how to validate it. Then we've got cout, 2 arrowheads, bool alpha, range check, user input 4 and 9. Don't worry about this range check, we'll be defining this function in a moment. Bool alpha will basically make any booleans print as a true or a false in this cout statement. Because by default in C++, booleans are printed as 0 and 1. You don't need it, but I prefer to have it. And obviously cout just prints stuff to the console. Make sure you include IO stream and string, as we'll be needing these for this tutorial. So this little bit of code is our range check. So we're going to break it down and go through everything bit by bit. Bool means we're going to be returning a true or a false to wherever we call the function. Range check is the name of the function. String input is our first parameter. This is going to be the user input that we want to validate and check the length of. Int min is the lower bound, int max is the upper bound. And then we can do return, input.length, greater than min, and input.length, less than max. So that's a bit to digest, let's break it down. Return is, we're going to return a value, the boolean result of this line of code, to wherever we called the function, which would be here in this case. Input.length just gets how many characters a string has, and then puts an integer wherever we call that function. So if we did Jeffy, this would become a 5. If we did Jeff, this would become a 4. And we're going to check if that's greater than the minimum. So we'd be checking if 5 is greater than 4 if we used our Jeffy example. And then we do an AND operator, which is just 2 of these little symbols. So basically we've got one boolean here, which is checking if 5 is greater than 4 in this example, but then we've got another boolean here. So we're going to do input.length again, which is going to be 5 if we use the Jeffy example, and we're checking if it's less than the max. Not less than me, but the maximum value that we want. So we'd be checking if 5 is less than 9. So once we do that, we now have 2 booleans. And a little bit of boolean algebra for you. If we want a true statement, all of our booleans need to be true. If at least one is false, the overall boolean becomes false. So basically this line of code is going to return a true because our input is greater than the minimum and it's less than the maximum. But let's say we did Jeff spelt J-E-F. So this would become 3 and 3 is not greater than 4. So this becomes a false because the length isn't long enough. However, 3 is less than 9, so this becomes a true. Since this is an AND statement, this return statement will return a false overall because one of the booleans is a false. One of our comparisons was invalid. So there's a little example of how boolean algebra can work with the AND operator, which could help you with your theory as well as your code. So we're gonna test the code and see what happens. Hit play and save your work. Not in that order. But we get a true because Jeffy is within the range. Also, you can do greater than and equal to and less than and equal to if you want to. I'm not, but you can do that if you want to. Let's do Jeff with 1F. It's false. But let's set the minimum this time to 2. And it says true, because obviously 3 is greater than 2. So thanks for being a great audience, be sure to leave a like and a comment if you enjoyed, and subscribe for more C++ tutorials. Thanks for watching.